So I met my first business partner online. It wasn't a dating site. It wasn't like a match.com type of situation. I put an ad up for rent to own property, rent to own investing, and it was on Kijiji. And I was looking for I was marketing for a specific thing, and I just get a call in the middle of the day. It was the middle of my work day, and it was lunchtime. So I get a call from this guy, and he's just like, "Hey, I saw your ad. This is back in 2006." So he's like, "Hey, I got your ad, and I think we should chat because I'm a real estate investor as well, and I would love to chat with you. I'm looking for people who are also investing in real estate just to build my network or whatever it was. I can't remember exactly what he said, but I was pretty busy, so I said, "Let me call you tonight." I kind of got to go back to my 9 to 5, my job, right at the time. And so I called him back, and we spoke maybe for 2 or 3 hours about so many different things about entrepreneurship, about investing in real estate, about sales, about some of our goals and the visions that we had for ourselves, and the types of training that we've taken, all the workshops that we've taken towards learning more about investing in real estate. So we said we should meet up. So we met up, went to a coffee shop, Starbucks, and we hit it off, and it was awesome. So we had this. This is probably the first time that I met somebody who I felt like was really, truly like-minded, someone who I could see myself in, because this was probably a month and a half to 2 months after I decided that I'm not going back to university. I want to be a real estate investor. I want to be an entrepreneur. So I am not going back to school. And in the meantime, I'm going to find a job that's going to help me learn how to sell and be in sales. So not even 2 months after I made that decision, I meet my who's my best friend now, Christopher Lim, and we went on to we have a great relationship, and we started a company together. We have property together, and it was a really, really cool way to meet somebody, um, and build a relationship with, just through some sort of like-mindedness, like some the same interest. And the question I get often is, how do I how do I start to surround myself with people who are going to uplift me? How am I going to surround myself with people who are going to inspire me and push me, hold me accountable, be excited for me, essentially? Because I think, depending on what your work situation is, if you work in an office, if you work with a whole bunch of people, or even a small office, or I don't know what your situation is. You might have certain ambitions for yourself that are outside of the career path that you're in right now. Or maybe you're pursuing personal growth and you're learning a lot about yourself, and you have this great new awareness about yourself and the world, and you're finding trouble trying to relate with people in the workplace, or even just at parties or social gatherings. You're finding it hard to relate with certain people on new things, that new horizons in your way of thinking and your way of being. Because some of these people may have been in your life for many years, and they're great friends and they have your back, but they don't necessarily understand what you're going through, what you're trying to achieve. They might not necessarily relate to your goals, your aspirations. And it's not that there's anything wrong with that, but it can have an impact on you. When you're inspired and you are motivated and you have a really big vision for yourself, it is it's there are a lot of you'll realize that you begin to create a contrast between you and them. You essentially otherize people, and you feel different and unique and separate from others. And I think that's probably where the problem starts to arise. And when you are going into a workplace and you think about, I mean, this is what happened to me. I was always talking about starting a business and escaping 9 to 5 and not having the golden handcuffs of a corporate job, and stuff like that, and investing in real estate and building up a portfolio, and building up passive income and doing different things like that, and partnering joint ventures. Most people at the office that I was working at had no clue what I was talking about. They thought it was crazy. They thought I was part of a cult. Some of the language that I was using, they were just like, "What are you talking about?" They just didn't even, kind of just went in through one ear and right out the other. And even before that, when I was working in a factory, building cars, there were some people in there when I started to lose weight, and people were asking me, how did you lose so much weight, and blah blah blah. And I was talking about, I was reading Anthony Robbins and a lot of personal growth stuff, and I was talking about, you got to be positive, you got to have goals, you got to have aspirations, you got to have, a vision for yourself. I was speaking this language, and people would be like, "It's like, what are you, part of some cult or something? You're so weird and blah blah blah. You're crazy." People thought I was crazy for waking up at 5 in the morning and going for 30-minute runs or doing my workouts like super early, and having this intense commitment to my own growth and my own achievement. So, if you have very unique aspirations to yourself, I think the first thing to understand is that when you separate yourself from others, it creates a huge contrast, and it creates a loneliness that you begin to feel because you have trouble relating with others. You're actually surrounded by people who only know you as you were. You're surrounded by people who only know you as you were, who you've become up to this point. So that's how they see you. And you've built these relationships, and you had like-mindedness, or you still have like-mindedness with them, but you relate to them on levels that might be prior to your current growth, your current standing in where you want your life to proceed from there on. So notice that. Notice how you are potentially otherizing the situation, separating yourself from others. Okay? The second thing I would say is realize that you're looking for an external to try and fulfill your internal. Because from the question that I got, and this was derived from a question that I got in an email, in a Facebook private message, it was essentially, how do I find people who are going to inspire me or uplift me and be positive around me and stuff like that? You will never be satisfied with others or the external inspiring you. You will not have enough power if you're looking outside of your own self. So I think that's extremely important to accept and realize, that when you also otherize this source of power, this source of inspiration, then you ultimately hand your power over to others. And when we do that, when we let go of our power, that's where we be all our depleted sense of self starts to manifest itself into anger and resentment and hatred and jealousy towards others as well, because we're essentially outsourcing the responsibility of inspiring ourselves, of motivating ourselves. So I don't think that's a necessarily wrong thing. I think that's something that I've done, and that's why I say this. This is something that I've personally gone through, trying to use the external to fulfill my internal. But I think it is important to have a peer group that supports you. As long as you realize that they won't necessarily fully satisfy your needs, it is important to have a peer group, to have a sense of community, to have a sense that there are other people like you and that you're not alone in this. And I think it's important to realize that you have to be willing to open yourself up, connect, and relate with new people. So the first thing I would do is, and yes, I know this is very cheesy, but make a list of the 10 to 25 qualities. And my coach, Hans Phillips, calls them the conditions of satisfaction. So these are the conditions of satisfaction of being in relationship with you. New friends. What are those qualities? Maybe they believe in reciprocity. Maybe they believe in voluntarism. Maybe they are, maybe they're entrepreneurs. They're open-minded. Take care of themselves. So, and these are just a few ideas. They are willing to be vulnerable. They're authentic. They follow through on their word. There could be a whole bunch of things. Maybe they read certain types of books. Maybe they practice yoga like you do. I don't know. I don't know what you're going to put onto your list, but make a list of it, and it's not like this whole secret thing where you're going to attract them into your life. It's more about you starting to understand what you actually want and need in terms of a supportive, reciprocal, inspiring, powerful relationship with another. It's you putting it onto paper and seeing it with your own eyes. And you're taking it out of your brain and putting it onto pen and ink, or putting it onto your computer, onto your Evernote, which is what I do in most of the cases. So you might even want to do this if you're looking for a partner, you're looking for a lover, or whatever it is. Well, she's a brunette, and, she works out really hard, and I don't know, you can get really superficial, but that's not necessarily what this video is about. And so after you have this awareness, I don't think you're going to necessarily meet people and check them off on the list, give them a pass or fail. Maybe you do. It's up to you. It's your list. You can do whatever you want. It's like I'm not the boss of you, right? But what I would say is, once you have that awareness of what you're looking for in terms of a relationship with another, someone who's like-minded, it's starting to develop a network and a peer group of people who are supportive, who are inspirational, who keep you accountable, who help you cultivate a sense of growth and love and warmth and compassion. Then open up and connect with people. There's great sites like meetup.com where you can find groups like the ones that you're looking for. Whenever you meet people, bring this stuff up in conversation, the things that you're interested in. You'll be surprised where conversations will lead you if you're willing to be vulnerable and discuss the things that are truly important to you. And maybe within 2 months, like I did, or sooner, or a little bit longer, who knows, you'll meet a new best friend. Like, you'll meet a soulmate. You'll meet somebody who's meant to be in your life, or meant to teach you something, or someone who's going to connect you with somebody who's going to have a profound impact on your career, on your life, on your health, on your business. So that's what I would do. Because since 2006, so it's almost 7 years ago, since 2006, the composition of the relationships that I have, like the types of people who are in my life, every day I'm extremely grateful for them, because they have my back. They allow me to tap into their networks because they trust me and love me just like I trust them and love them. I can communicate with them as gateways to others. And I think it's extremely powerful to have these types of relationships. I can't tell you, the cheap flights that I go on, the free stays that I get, the cheap meals, the services that are offered to me, like high quality services and products. And it's really incredible to have these people as friends and resources to my life and my business. So I definitely want to encourage you to think about who are these people, who are these people that you want to attract into your life, and then be willing to open up, and you'll see some really cool things happen. And yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks.